Hey boys and girls, today you're going to be doing a drawing, and I titled this one Linear Perspective, and basically I'm going to show you how linear perspective works. The word linear is simply means line, and perspective is the way that you see something. So I'm going to show you how to see lines and also how to help you to draw 3D lines. So let's look at some examples. Okay, in linear perspective, you're always going to have a vanishing point, and that's the point to where everything seems to vanish. Okay, you have lines that go back and they vanish at a certain point, and this actually happens if you're driving on the highway and you look far. If it's flat and you can see far away, you can look and you can actually see where it looks like everything just kind of disappears, and we call that the vanishing point. All right, and then so I'm going to show you how to draw later, but I'm going to show you a few different examples of what we call linear perspective. So this is the first one. Let's see if the second one's a little bit easier. So here we have a vanishing point, but you're not able to see all the lines. But if you notice, the angle of the lines all go back to that vanishing point. Okay. So you can see these angles I'm making with my ruler or yardstick. So the angle is what we're going for here. So you're gonna need a ruler to do your drawing. And all of these angles go to that one vanishing point. Now it is possible to have more than one vanishing point, and that's what I'm gonna show you in just a couple minutes. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so here's our vanishing point right there. And also one trick to making things look like it's three-dimensional is when it gets further away from your eyes, it gets smaller. So you can see the telephone poles are getting smaller and smaller as they get further away from your eyes. Same thing with the railroad tracks. They're getting closer and smaller. Okay, this blue line is called the horizon line, and we actually have a horizon line. When you look out in a distance, you can see that line that goes across. It may not be so obvious to you, but it is there. So here's the angle. All the angles go right back to that little dot right there. So that's how we're going to get started in just a minute. I'm going to show you how to start your drawing off, and then you're going to be adding all the details to it. So get a couple more. One other thing that I ask you to do in this drawing is to add value. Value is where you add shadowing or shading to your picture. Okay, so it's not so flat like a cartoon. We're trying to show form, like a three-dimensional type form. But here you can see the vanishing point is there. The angles all go to there. If you put the ruler like that, the trees also are getting smaller when they get closer. I mean, they get smaller as they get further away from your eyes, okay? And so for your drawing, it could be black and white. You're going to draw it, but you will be adding value. Like you see these lines here is adding value to a picture. So we have dark areas, you have kind of a middle gray area, and then you have a dark area. And also a light area, of course. The paper is white. So this one is probably done by like a high school student or something. But anyways, the vanishing point on this one is actually off the page. So the vanishing point would be over here, but you can see the way it's set up that the lines still go in that direction. And this kind of shows how they were to make it. You can see that they added a lot of value on his shirt, on his pants, the floor. This is one of the first pictures to ever use a vanishing point. And you have the painting here of the Last Supper, but if you were to kind of like take it apart and look at it, you can see that the vanishing point is actually in the center there. Okay, and all the lines for the building, the roof, they all lead to that vanishing point. And so this was even the corner of the table, and this is one of the first pictures that used the vanishing point. So this is kind of how we're going to set our picture up. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, you have two vanishing points on here. You have one here, and you have one on the other side. And in just a second, I'm going to push this screen up, and I'm going to draw it on the board, and that's the way you'll be setting up your picture. And then you'll be coming back, and you can actually, I like to leave this one up for the kids to look at, because they like to look at it, and then they can see how to do some of these tricks here by adding value to their pictures. So let me go ahead and show you how to set this up. I'm going to move this. I'm going to turn off the screen. So basically, to set it up, what you're going to do is you're going to put two dots. And it's best to have a long piece of paper, but if you don't, just use whatever you have. But you're going to put your two dots. All right. I like to start in the middle, actually a little bit further apart. Can you see that? Yeah. I'm going to start with a line. All of my lines I make, I'm going to try to use my ruler, and I'm going to start with a line like that in the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to do. Let's put that down a little bit further. I'm going to do my first line, and what I'm doing is my vanishing point is here, my other vanishing point is here, and I'm going to start off by drawing the edge of the building. It's going to be a building, and I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to that vanishing point. I don't necessarily need to touch it though. I'm just going in that with that angle. Okay, so I'm going to go there, and depending on how big your paper is, you can put more buildings. I'm just going to do a few just to show you. Now I have a basic shape. It almost looks like a diamond. Vanishing point, vanishing point. Now I'm going to start adding some sides of my building. Okay. And then you'll start to see how it kind of starting to look like a 3D picture. Okay. So you can keep going there. I like, you can come down here. You can add a little bit of a sidewalk. You can make your sidewalk go back. Basically, everything you draw is going in that angle. So, for instance, say that I want to draw a window. Okay, so if I'm going to draw a window for my building, because now what you're going to do is you're going to decorate this into whatever kind of building you want it to be. It can be like Joe's Shoes or Chick-fil-A, whatever you want to put, okay? So, but when you go to put your windows, I'm still using my ruler. So I'm going to put a window. I still have to do my edges in the perspective if I'm making a window. So my window is going to look like that. The bottom, see my vanishing point? It's like that, okay? So that way I keep it. And then these lines, the vertical lines are still vertical, okay? So we're still vertical. You can put kind of, once you get your window in there, you can kind of do your reflection. Make it look like a reflection. Okay, so you do the same thing. You can do the other side of your sidewalk. You can come back and actually start putting some lines on here. And remember, as they get further away, they're going to get shorter. So you would go short, 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 and so on, all the way back if you wanted to. Well, that's maybe too many. So there's a few other tricks that I can show you, but we would probably need more time, and who knows if we're going to make it to the end of this video. So let's start with that. If you need more help, go back and look at that last picture I showed you with the two buildings that go back, and then add shadowing. Well, one thing you can do is you can kind of take a building off early. I'll just show you that real quick, because I usually show this to the kids. Stop it a little bit early, and then what I do is I line up my vanishing point over here, and I'll put that little side, so it kind of makes it look like there's a little bit of an area there, and then you can shadow, and you can make it look more three-dimensional by doing that. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. Good luck on your linear. Let me write that for you, so you don't forget. Linear perspective.